Hey, welcome. I'm Laura, live Namasturm Yoga. This is going to be a 40 to 45 minute vigorous athletic vinyasa practice. Let's get right into it. So let's just start in tabletop. So bring your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over knees, and a few cat-cow stretches to warm up the spine. And I'm just doing a practice for myself at home. I don't necessarily spend time sitting at the top of practice, but you certainly can if that's what helps you to transition. Here we can start to add in the ujjayi breath right away. So narrowing the back of the throat, inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat, and start to get that rhythm into your breath and body right from the beginning. And as you feel your spine start to warm up, you can start to go a little deeper. And then we're just going to add on little by little. So inhaling to cow, exhale. As you go to cat, drop your hips to your heels, child's pose, inhaling back up to cow. And then we're going to alternate this time to down dog on the exhale. Inhale back to cow. Keep flowing with the pace of the breath. Exhaling, child's pose. Next time you come to down dog, go ahead and instead of dropping knees, come forward to plank. Adjust the hands if you need to, and then from plank, child's pose, hips to heels. Inhaling cow from child's pose, exhaling down dog. And if you find yourself going in a different order, it's really not a big deal. This is the sequence that makes sense to me. My body tends to follow it pretty easily, but that may not be the case for you. So just as long as you're continuing to flow and move, following the pace of your breath, you're all good. Let's come back and hold plank, shoulders over wrists, reach through the heels, reach through the head, strong through the core. And then from here, let's just inhale, roll to the left, take the right arm up, and we're just gonna go back and forth. Come back to center, inhale to the other side, come back to center, inhale, roll to the left. And this really isn't a full side plank, we're really just opening. So the feet are rolling, and that top arm, instead of reaching directly above, it can open even further if that feels good. So it starts to become a little bit of a twist for the torso. One more time. And then coming back to center, and let's lower down. And if you want to take knees down first this first time, do that. Chest down between hands, interlace the fingers behind the back. Root down through the tops of the feet at first, lift the shoulders, rise up with the chest, and reach the arms up off of the back. Then if the low back feels okay, you can pick up the feet, point the toes behind you. Make sure you're still breathing here. And then carefully letting go of the hands. Keep that lift, hands next to chest, rolling into cobra pose. Take a few breaths here. Shoulders back and down, heart forward, relax the legs and glutes. Elbows are a little soft, so we haven't locked them out. If you want to start to move the head back a little, you can, but let it be like a connection to the whole upper body. So we're not just dropping the head back and like disconnecting it from the rest of the torso. And then tuck toes, lift knees and hips. Take downward facing dog and spend a little time, if you want, bending one knee, letting the opposite leg straighten, pedaling through the feet, or any other way you like to warm up in down dog. So it could be pivoting on the toes to drop the heels to one side, and then switching to the other side. And then let's take the right leg into the air. Try to keep the legs straight, but open the hips. So reach the toes for the ceiling, root the hands into the floor. Great big extension with the leg. Look forward between the hands and step your foot all the way up. Knee over ankle. Let's go ahead and float right away into crescent pose. So find your way up. Find your balance, steady the gaze, lunge deep, and then straighten the back leg, really reach through the back heel. Energy through the fingers, softness through the shoulders. Take the left hand to the floor, inside the right foot, take the right arm up. Nice easy twist, shoulders stack, gaze up. And now we are going to go into a full structured side plank. So carefully rolling to the outer edge of your left foot, and then step or scooch, however you want to get it, that right foot back. Inner edges of the feet stack, lift the hips, lift the gaze. Flex into both feet. And then turn to the floor, back to plank. Take a vinyasa here. If you want to take knees down, you can, but if you're ready for chaturanga and up dog, just on the tops of the feet, go for it, and exhale, down dog. Root through the hands. Take the left leg up, and again, open the hip, but keep the leg straight. So it's like you're just trying to get the toes to the ceiling. Push the hands down, lift up higher. Really dynamic, neck is relaxed. Look forward, step the left foot up, knee over ankle, float on up to a high lunge. Again, crescent pose, finding the balance, energy through the fingers, softness in the shoulders. Reach through the back heel as you lunge deeper if possible. And then moving to the easy twist. So stack the right shoulder right above the right wrist, and then the fingers and toes line up, left arm up. Now both shoulders are lined up. Arms are vertical. Roll to the outer edge of the right foot, and step the left foot into place for side plank. Flex into the feet, lift the hips, lift the gaze. And then turn to face the floor. Once again, vinyasa here. And holding in downward facing dog. Root through the hands, reach through the hips, elongate the spine. Inhale, look forward to the front of the mat. Exhale, step, walk, or if you want, you can hop the feet up. Have them about hip distance apart for now, just because we're just gonna hang. Just a little dangling. Soft knees, upper body, let's go. Maybe the hands hit the floor, and if they do, you can grab your elbows, but if they don't worry about it. Loosen up the back of the neck. You can bounce the knees if you like. And then letting go of the elbows, slowly roll on up to standing. Take the shoulders back and down a couple of times. And we'll just do a nice easy side stretch. So taking the arms up, grab the right wrist with the left hand and pull on over to the left. Breathing into the ribs. And then switch sides, grab the left wrist. Take yourself over to the other side. And then coming up, we're gonna just prepare to go into some sun A's here. And this really is our full body warm up where we actually start to get flowing in earnest. So bring your big toes to touch, heels slightly apart, palms press, quads lift, feet press down. Try not to lock your knees or clench your glutes. If you want, you can close your eyes here and tune into the breath. And then when you're ready, inhale, reach arms out and up. Maybe palms together, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold to Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, nice flat back. Exhale, plant palms, step to plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog and hold. As you hold in down dog, root down through the hands and lift your hips up to lengthen every time you inhale. And then as you exhale, keep that, but see if you can reach your chest further back towards the legs and maybe straighten the legs or drop the heels. And then when you're ready, inhale, gaze forward, lift your head. Exhale, step or lightly hop up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it down. Root the feet into the floor to rise up strong. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Keep it flowing. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step, or if you want to hop to chaturanga, try to keep it light. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. This time just one inhale. We're going to keep flowing. Exhale, step or hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, palms together, and so on. And let's just do 2 more. I'll allow you to concentrate on your own breathing rhythm, movement rhythm here. And then after you are done with those 2 rounds, let's just keep flowing. We're going to get back to downward facing dog. So take your time, make your way to the next down dog, and then hold there, and we can start to add on a little bit more. And if you're holding down dog, again, continue to let the breath deepen the pose. If you need child's pose, you can always drop knees to the floor. Now let's lift the heels. Take the right leg up, open the hip and bend to the top knee, point the knee to the sky. Keep moving your chest, your heart back, shoulders stay level. And then knee to chest, shoulders forward over the wrists. Like a one-legged plank, but tuck that knee up tight. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, knee to the right arm, so hover it by your tricep. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, knee to the left arm, little twist, and we're going to add on from here. So we're going to kick the leg through under the left arm, take the left hand into the air, and open the chest to the ceiling. And then hand back to the ground. Inhale, sweep the right leg up again, and exhale, step it forward between the hands. Back heel down, let's take a warrior 1. So step the left toes a little to the left to help you so that your feet aren't lined up down the center line. The right foot's a little to the right, left foot a little to the left. Hands to your waist to remind yourself to square the hips towards the front edge of your mat. Bend your front knee over the ankle, root into the outer edge of the back foot. Arms up. Energy through the fingers, softness through the shoulders. Nice steady gaze. We're going to go from here to warrior 3. You can keep your arms extended, or you can bring your palms together in front of the heart. I actually sometimes do this because I don't have a lot of space in front of me, but it's up to you what you like. Lean in and float the back leg up. Reach through the head, reach through the back heel, nice and strong. Try to create that capital T shape best you can, leveling out the hips, and then bend the front knee, step back long. Inhale, you're back in warrior 1, and we can just take a vinyasa. You can skip the vinyasas, of course. So if you feel like you've had enough of those, just worry about the standing poses. Let's take the left leg up, and again, you can come to your right toes, lift the left leg, open the hips, so that knee is really pointing up. Push the hands down, reach the knee for the ceiling. That low leg is just relaxed with the left heel dropping to the right hip. Knee to chest, shoulders forward over the wrists. Make sure you're breathing here. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, knee to the left arm, and we'll hold for 1 full cycle of breath. Inhale, down dog split. And exhale, knee to the right arm. So little twist, little oblique work. And then kick the leg through. Right under the right arm, take the right hand into the air, open the chest. And then hand to the floor. Inhale, 1 more time, down dog split. And exhale, step the foot to the front of the mat. Right heel roots down. And again, separate the feet so that the right's a little to the right, left a little to the left. And that's gonna help square the hips, because obviously, the left hip is to the left, the right hip is to the right. It's helpful if our feet help support that. Take the arms up, Lunge deep, root into the outer edge of the back foot, all that good alignment stuff that we know. And then moving to warrior three. And again, palms can be together, or you can keep the arms alongside the ears if you have room. And if the arms are able to continue to extend, if they start to droop down, then palms together. Reach through the back heel, reach through the head, try to level it all out. Don't let the head and shoulders drop, right? So we want to still keep the shoulder blades on the back and the neck long. Bend the front knee, reach back long. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, vinyasa. And holding in down dog for a couple good breaths here. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, bend the knees, step or lightly hop it forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to come to chair pose, Utkatasana here. So, knees over the toes, weight on the heels, navel in, tail down, arms up, and then we're going to take it to a twist. So left elbow outside of the right knee, push your right palm down into the left to really engage that twist. Standing on the right foot, let's step the left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Keep the front knee over the ankle. And then if you want to, fly the arms open. Maybe turn your head and look up if the balance is okay for you here. And then from here, we're going to float up, but keep your twist. Float up, up, up. See if you can reach for the outer left leg with your right hand. Pull yourself deeper. Right arm reaches up and over, look to your back heel. We're going to rotate out of this to warrior two. So keep your front knee over ankle. Start to rotate. Pivot that back heel down. Front heel and back arch line up. Adjust your hips, shoulders over hips, arms at shoulder height. Look over the front fingertips. Warrior two. Turn the front palm up. Couple breaths in reverse warrior. Keep lunging. And then cartwheel the hands to the floor. Cycle your way through a vinyasa. Take a resting breath or two if you need it. And when you're ready, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding deep. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Inhale, take chair. And we're going to twist the other way. So right elbow outside of the left leg. Left palm presses down. Try to keep your hips level. This will happen if your knees are together. Reach the head away from the tail. And then stabilizing on the left foot. Shoot that right foot back. Front knee stays over ankle. So if you need to scoot your toes more, do it. And then fly the arms. Float up. Stretch it back. Lunge deep in the front leg. Maybe reach for that outer back leg. Look to your back heel. And then we're just rotating. So try to make this nice and smooth, this transition. Front heel and back arch line up. Hips level out. Palms flip down. Look over your front fingertips. Warrior two. Turn the front palm up. Reverse the warrior. One more inhale, and then hands to the floor. Vinyasa. And breathe in down dog. Once again, we always want to be breathing. Root through the hands, lift the hips. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees to step or lightly hop it up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold deep. We're going to come to chair again. And this time we're going to move to eagle. So I'm just going to turn to face you, but arms at shoulder height, left arm under right, wrap the arms, lift the elbows, and then left leg over right. So we're standing on the right leg, lift the elbows, sink the hips. Eagle pose. I'm going to go to this other end of the mat because we're going to add on from here. From here, we're just gonna start to bow forward. We're thinking of getting the torso in line where we would have it for warrior three. So keep reaching the head away from the tail, reach the fingers forward, and then unwind your left leg. Push the sole of the foot back, reach through the heel, reach through the head. Straighten your standing leg, level out the hips. Bend the front knee, root through the back heel. Warrior one, but float up with the elbows and arms, little back bend here. And then open the arms, warrior two, front heel and back arch line up. Inhale, reverse warrior, extended side. Forearm to thigh, top arm overhead alongside the ear. If you want, look up under your arm toward those fingertips. And reverse it, and hands to the floor, vinyasa. And hold in down dog for a breath if you need to. We're gonna do the other side, but we'll have to come back to the top of the mat to start it. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop those feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. And again, we're gonna move to eagle. So arms out, right arm goes under left this time. Lift the elbows, and then right leg goes over left. Cross your thighs. If you can cross the toes behind the calf, great. And then at the beginning of eagle, we're sinking the hips down, but the arms are up, lifting up. The torso is still up, the gaze is still forward. We're gonna transition though, very intentionally. Start to fold down. The hips have to move back to counterbalance this move. Fingers reaching ahead like an arrow, long torso. Now unwind the right leg, push it back. So you're coming into this variation on warrior three. Try to level out, straighten your standing leg. And then bend the front knee, root down, warrior one, reach up and back, little back bend here, lunge forward. And then open warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, extended side. I'm sweating. I'm getting a little warm. I hope you guys are feeling warm too. Look up under the arm toward the fingers. And then reverse and vinyasa. Back to downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. We're gonna do one more standing pose sequence here. So on an inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, step or hop the feet forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. We're gonna come back through chair pose and take that vinyasa just to kind of continue the form. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Up dog or cobra. And exhale, down dog. Now from down dog, inhale, take the right leg up. We're gonna start with our standing poses. Exhale, step the foot forward, back heel goes down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse, and then we're gonna take extended side, and then we're gonna move extended side into half moon. So take your left hand to your hip, right fingers forward, float up into it, keep the shoulders open. Now some add-on options. You can take that top arm up. If you want to take Ardha Shavasana, and I love this variation because I like to do a little bit of back bending, bend the knee, bring the heel behind you, grab the foot, pull the heel away from the hip, open across the chest. And then from here, we're going to turn to the floor for a standing split. So if you're not in Ardha Shavasana, you can put both sets of fingers on the floor. But if you are, see if you can fold to the right leg, but push your left foot up into your hand. And then if you've got the foot, let it go. Standing splits, fold deep towards your left leg. Maybe try to level the hips out a little more. And then we're just going to go to pyramid. So we're going to let that back foot just float down. Not as far back as a lunge. Fold over the right leg. And then plant the palms, make your way through vinyasa, and we'll go into the other side. Inhale, take the left leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, take extended side, and then moving toward half moon. So right hand to the hip, left fingers forward, float up off the back leg, reach through the heel, reach through the head. And if you did on the first side, take the top arm up, and then if you did on the first side also, maybe bend the knee, reach back with the hand for the foot. Pull the heel away from the hip, keep your balance here. And then turning toward the floor. So this may not be a dramatic turn if you've got the foot in the hand, but see about folding towards your left leg, pointing the right knee up. Push the foot into your hand. Should feel a good stretch here. And then let the foot go for a standing split. Now you can probably fold a little deeper. And then lightly place that back foot down, folding over your left leg. Pyramid. And the idea is to try to level your hips. I know it's hard to tell, but see if you can kind of feel that out. And then plant the palms, and let's just go ahead and step the feet back and take the knees to the floor. And we're gonna set up for a little headstand practice here, so get our inversions in. I'm a little warm. I hope you're feeling good. All right, so let's take the forearms to the ground, elbows under shoulders, interlock your fingers. If you are not comfortable with handstand or with headstand, you could practice a dolphin pose here. If you'd like to come to a wall in your space that is available for you to practice headstand, but do try to spend a minute or two here getting yourself in some configuration of upside downedness, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna tuck my head up into my hands here, and then tuck the toes. And I like to pike up, but this isn't available for everyone, so you can take one leg up at a time. If you are piking up, you need to know that you've really got yourself. And then once you're up, if you piked up, sometimes there's a tendency to keep the bend in the waist that we use to get up, but we really want to try to straighten that out. So reach through the inner feet, root down with the forearms, and this is subtle, like really our main focus is on not falling, right? But we do want to really try to align ourselves so that we're vertical. And then to come down, if you piked up, try to come down as slowly as you came up. So let the hips, and if you even if you didn't pike up, you might still be able to pike down. You need to counterbalance with the hips. So the hips need to move behind you as the toes start to come down in front of you. If not, the weight of the feet are just gonna drop you to the floor. So you really need to reach back with the hips and then slowly lower the toes down. And let's do a child's pose here. If you were in a full headstand, stack your fists and just put your forehead on those stacked fists. Breathe. And then come on up, and we're on our knees. We're gonna come to camel pose. So from here, maybe tuck the toes on the first one. This is gonna be our back bend. Use the hands to root down into the tail, heart up. Bring the hands to the heels, chin in, or the head can go back. And then bring yourself up carefully. Near the end of the practice where we're actually physically warmed up, our muscles are literally warm temperature-wise, it's a good time to work in back bends, but we just always want to make sure that we're not overdoing it. sometimes we're so warm that we can go deeper than our body really is ready for. So just let yourself be mindful. Let's take another one though. Extend the feet behind you. Perhaps this time, I like to do this because I know I can root down through my shins and ankles, and it just gives me a little bit more grounding. And you kind of need to ground in your poses to be able to lift up and move away. So I'm going to try to lift my heart to the ceiling, and that's helped by grounding through my feet, my legs, my shins. If you reach your hands to the feet, then those ground as well. And then float up carefully. Support yourself. Let's drop to the left hip. So we want to just take a nice twist after back bending. Step the right leg over the left. Sit down and wrap your left arm around the right knee or take it outside. Turn over the right shoulder. So I love this more slightly athletic style of practicing where you just kind of keep going, keep your body warm because it feels like a workout. But I know that's not for everyone. So, anytime you're practicing, if you would rather take it a little easier, take it a little slower, that's fine. But once we're warmed up from having practiced like that, we can do some deeper finishing stretches. Let's cross the legs the other way. So, we'll twist the other side. Wrap the right elbow around the left knee or take it past, turning over your left shoulder. And then instead of coming and doing pigeon, we're going to do a double pigeon here, which is actually a deeper, in some ways, it can be a deeper hip opener. So we're going to keep the legs kind of crossed like this for now, but what we're going to do is take the the right shin and move it so that it's level with an edge of your mat. So that so it's almost like you've got a 90-degree bend in your knee, so it's an open joint. And then we're going to stack the left ankle above the right knee and the left knee above the right ankle so that the shins are lined up, they're level with you, they're parallel. And then let's just let yourself fold in. You can flex the feet a little if that helps, but that doesn't need to be dramatic. Breathe here. If this is troublesome for your knees, maybe take a pigeon stretch if that's easier for you, or you can even come to your back and do the modified version of pigeon. And then come on up and we're going to switch sides. So switch the left leg to the bottom of the stack. And again, parallel with the front edge of the mat. So it's not like crossing the legs where the heel is tucked in. You really do want the shins to be as parallel with each other as possible so that this looks almost like a triangle here. This is also sometimes called square pose in like a yin practice. So you really do sort of want the right angles to your knees if your knees can tolerate it. Fold in. And that right knee, it might be floating way up above the left foot, but as you go deeper, it might sink down. So allow for what's possible here. And then come on up. We're going to come to our feet. We're going to do just a little bit of arm balancing here before we wrap it up because arm balancing is, I don't know, I just think it's really fun. So we're going to start with crow pose, which is maybe one of our most basic arm balances. So wherever you want to be that's most comfortable on your mat, you can start in Malasana, garland pose, pressing your palms together with the toes kind of turned out here, but then start to really bring your upper arms under your shins. So as low as you can get your chest, the easier it's going to be to move the upper arms under your shins. Then plant the palms. You want them about shoulder distance apart and the fingers spread really wide. Your elbows are probably winging out right now because they're working to get under your shins. But as you float, let's hope, into this pose, the elbows will ultimately stack over the wrists. Now, we're going to lift the heels and start to move the weight up and over the wrists You might lift your hips high, you might round your mid-back. It's a little different for everyone, but try to float the feet off the floor. And then maybe look up. Give it a little try. And if you're feeling more playful today, you can try taking your crow pose to a tripod headstand. Let the head come to the floor in front of your hands. Let the hips stack over the shoulders. Take the legs into the air. And then come back out of it the way you went in. See if you can. Take your shins back to your upper arms. And then maybe float that head off the floor. Carefully, carefully. Try to look up before the feet come down. And then lower back down. So keep playing with that, or I'm going to show one more arm balance, Titibhasana. This one, we've got to wrap our arms under our legs a little bit more. So take your feet a little wide, and instead of bringing the arms in front like we did with crow, we're going to try to get the arms behind. So trying to move your shoulders under your knees. Use your hands on your calf to help with that. And then the feet need to be a little wide, but not so wide that you can't get your hands to the floor, because you want to let the hands then come to the floor around the feet, on outside of the feet. And then once you've got that alignment, really it's just sitting back. Your thighs rest on your upper arms. You can bring the feet together like a diamond, or start to take the legs and extend them out. Look up if you can. Woo! Extend through those toes. And then when you're ready to come down, those hips are just going to come to the floor. And we're going to take the legs out wide and do some final finishing stretches here. Flex into the feet, quads nice and engaged. We're going to take some side stretches, and then we'll come right down the middle for the very last pose. Let's turn towards the right leg. So angle your navel towards your thigh. Start to walk the hands down. Keep this left foot flexed over there. Folding in. Look towards your toes, and everyone's going to be a little different in terms of how deep they can go. But for most of us, where we start the pose is not the end point, right? So as we spend a little time in a pose, usually we'll gradually get deeper, and we want to really allow for that, not force or push real hard, but just be open to that. Now from here, we're going to go to a side stretch, but because we've got a pretty deep forward fold, we don't want to lose that to take us into it. So keep your fold over your leg, take your right forearm inside of your right shin, and if you need to root it on a block, that's fine. And then we're going to turn open. Take the top arm up and then rotate the whole arm so that the palm is facing you, and then reach it up and over. So for many of us, it's just going to be a side stretch. We're going to try to reach the fingers. If you're really close to your leg, take the right fingers to the ball of the big foot, a big toe, and then see if you can get the left fingers, that arm that's up, to the pinky toe side, and then pull back on the pinky toe side of the foot to open the heart. And try to look up to the ceiling. Try to spin your spine to your thigh. Won't get there, but we're going in that direction. And then float it up and look to your left foot. And this is our new direction. Folding towards it, keep your right leg engaged. And we're starting with the forward fold. So you may notice, even if you were like resting on your thigh for the first side, you might not be there yet on the left. And it could just be that you haven't spent enough time. It might also be that your left leg is tighter. We're not always so symmetrical. Folding in. Breathing. And as we do asymmetrical practices, like focus on one leg, focus on the other leg, we try to treat them the same, but you sometimes have to also know that your body is not the same on both sides. So if one side works and the other side just doesn't, you kind of just got to be like, okay, and go with it. All right, now let's try to go to our little side stretch here. So taking the left arm inside that left leg, take the top arm up and over. Reach for the toes with the fingers. And again, if you can't reach this side, it's okay. But if you can, what you're aiming for is to try to grab like the ball of the big toe with the left hand, and then the right hand is reaching towards the pinky toe. We don't want the arm to drop down in front of our face. We still want to keep it a side stretch so that we're rotating the torso open towards the ceiling, and you can kind of push the left arm into the shin to help with that. And then float on up. All right. Now, forward folding down the center. Keep it simple if you want to. If you come down a little ways, but you can't quite get your head to the floor, you could put a block under your forehead so you can rest it and relax your neck. If you're able to get the head to the floor, then that's done for you, right? A couple of other options. You could reach for the big toes. Pull a little on the toes. Pull the shoulders away from the ears and fold here. Slightly deeper, and you really need to be able to control this, would be to interlace the fingers behind the back. Pull your shoulder blades together like we would in a variation of Prasarita. The arms are going to reach up and over, but these are giving leverage to move your chest down. So you really need to engage the legs a lot so that you don't hurt yourself going too deep too fast. If you can get your head to the ground, that's another way to like break your fall, so to speak. And then to come up, root down through the legs, float back up. And let's cross the legs. If you have time to give yourself a little Shavasana, I always recommend it. You've worked a lot in this practice. The counter pose to the practice is corpse pose, where we just lie down, no effort. So I encourage you to take a few moments for yourself to do that. But let's close from here. So palms together in front of the heart. Close the eyes, tune back into the breath. Check in with your inner self. Notice how you're feeling at this point. And the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me today from home and sharing in a practice. Namaste.